Hey, kitty girls, welcome to Cubs Out Loud Drag Race T-Time, episode number 4, where we're going to be discussing Rate a Queen Part 2 and Drag Queens for Change. It happens to be February 15th. Happy post VD. For those of you that don't know, my name is Gary, and with me is my ever fabulous co-host.
Hello, everyone. It's Damon. Be sure to get yourself tested.
We're so old. It's such an old joke. I talked about it at work recently. I was like, how many people even know what VD is anymore? No one calls it
I
that.
know, right? No one calls it that anymore.
You know.
We still have to get into the STI as opposed to STD.
Right. Well, and that's the whole thing. Like we talked about that several years ago at work. Like the national trend was to call them STIs instead of STDs because they're technically infections, not disease states, is really what that is about. So instead, I got smart at work and I was like, we should call them STIDs.
All right.
Everybody's just running around with the stids. So you can tell how that hasn't caught on, right? So
Yeah.
it's not a thing. For those of you that are new, my apologies. Like you were like, I do like a show about RuPaul's Drag Race, which you all talking about. Like what was this? Anyways, we are going to discuss the most recent 2 episodes from season 18. And we're just going to talk about a couple different things that came out of these and see where things are going potentially for the season. So with
Mm.
that, we should probably jump into our first segment.
Racers,
Yeah.
start your engines, and may the best drag queen win.
Before we get into the actual segment, I have to ask you this question, David. Since you just watched this latest episode,
Uh-huh.
what happened to Mama's nose? Did you
Oh.
see the contour of her nose?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I will own. Probably wasn't paying attention because I was actually, let me rephrase. I was paying attention because I was looking at the outfit and I was like, oh, that's a wonderful two-piece that bottom's gonna come off and you're gonna get your sweatpants. Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
because it looked very like separated, very
Yeah.
separated.
Yeah. No, but anyways, she came out, she came walking down the runway, and all I did was stare at her nose.
It did look a little different.
What the hell happened to your nose?
Mm.
And I was like enough so that I thought to myself, like, I don't think Raven did that.
Mm.
Like it just, and from the side profile at the judges panel, it wasn't quite as noticeable as obvious, but man, straight onto camera when she walks out, I was like, what in the world is that business? I was like, did you do that yourself? Like what's going on here? So, anyways, little conspiracy theory. Something to talk about other than her bursitis in her shoulder because she can't lift her arm no more. All right. That being said, let's get into our first segment and put the pedal to the metal. So this is where we give our overall thoughts about these 2 episodes: the serves, which are the positives; the swerves, which are the negatives; and the nerves. This could be positive or negative items that we talk about. I'm seeing what David wrote down. This is making me laugh. So let's get into the serves. David, who you giving a serve to?
I'm gonna say I put down as my serve. I said we see through you, Nene, and it's actually a positive about her. The what was the runway called? Like the oh, I just forgot. I thought I wrote it down. I always write things down. I can see right through you or
Mm-hmm.
through her is
Right.
what the runway is called, and it was this very wonderful like um I don't want to say it was a gumball wrapper, but it felt very familiar to a like a vintage um candy wrapper.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of the it being like the name of the candy, it was actually Nini's name. And I just thought it was really well done, really well put together. I love that the gumball like wrapper around her head that she took off and
Mm-hmm.
had like a little purse, like so it kind of still worked with the outfit. Um, yeah, overall, just really great job. loving her work. I'm going to assume she made it. She
Hmm.
seems to be making a lot of her stuff, and this was top notch. This was great.
Yeah, I will say I was rather impressed with her in particular outfit on the runway, especially the headpiece. Like
Yeah.
the way that it was crafted, like you said, to be this like, you know, cellophane wrapper around like a gumball, a hard candy, and then she just kind of, and it holds its shape and she just kind of pops it off of her head. Um so yeah, no, I thought that looked really well, which kind of goes into my serve. I thought the entire see-through runway was fun. Like
Mm.
I do kind of wonder what the prompt was, because some of the outfits didn't really, in my opinion, meet the mark of the what we were told the runway theme was. And you know how it
Mm.
is. They don't give them the actual name. They give them like, prompts or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like Kenya's didn't really strike me as see-through.
No.
So I was like, okay,
Like
like there's a
I
part of me that's like that seems to be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, and I will own James kind of felt a little off. Not necessarily in a bad way. I get what she was going for, obviously homaging like Lee Bowery and the Club Kid and all that stuff. But I
Right.
also feel like that doesn't, to me, that doesn't fit the prompt fully. I get that the pink like over
Right.
thing. It felt like I have this. It felt like I have this bodysuit. I have this see-through pink thing.
Mm,
Whoop, combined into this thing. I was like, that's what it felt like. But again, I could be wrong.
yeah, I think if her outfit had been more material that was the pink see-through, like if the dress had like gone to the floor, you know, big full puffy sleeves, something so you could clearly see the black and white check material underneath, but also
Mhm.
I don't yeah, I kind of agree with that. But that being said, I mean, I also feel like Vita's was not going for the prompt.
No,
Um
no.
and there's a reveal behind that I'll tell you about later. But
Mm,
um yeah, so like there's just like some of them weren't hitting the mark, but I thought thematically I was like,
yeah.
oh, okay, like I like this as
I,
a theme.
I like the theme. I did like the theme. I like the idea behind it. And it is broad enough that you could potentially go different directions with it depending on what you're doing.
I mean, look at what Darlene did. Like
Right.
I thought that
Yeah.
was really creative and inventive and not as like on the nose as say like Mikey Meeks was. Like
Hmm.
honestly, I really liked what Mikey did. I was
Yeah.
like clean, simple, like straightforward, like no real, issues with it that I had
Yeah.
personally, because I was like, it is obvious it's a clear trench coat she's just wearing over top of her undies. So like.
Yeah. I think it could have worked better because I think it was supposed to be like a power suit or something along those lines. And I
Oh,
think it would have worked well with a little bit more structure or
interesting.
maybe something to delineate where the suit was, like some like hard, like maybe I don't know if it was made of plastic, but like a less translucent, not the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Um, or more, yeah, less translucent, like pinstripe or something to like get me into the
Oh,
idea of what this was going through, or at the edges where the like lapels and cuffs and whatever could have been, just like giving it a little bit of like distinction so that I could see what it was because I didn't notice it at first um, at all. Like I agree. I think when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, this is a trenchy. I'm like, oh wait, but it looks like it's split down the middle. Okay, it's pants. Oh, maybe it's a. And then she kind of hearing the her talking over it.
hmm,
It was definitely meant to be like a power suit situation, maybe, or businesswoman
right.
feel. Would have loved if it had like the shoulder pads that you could see.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, like overall, I thought it was fun, and so there was some room for some creativity. Like you could, like I said, be spot on with it, or you could do what like Darlene did and just try something different. Yeah, so it's kind of obvious that like whatever the prompt was, was not matching to what they said, because some of it was kind of like, huh? Like, all right, like I guess that counts. But yeah. All right, let's move on to swerves. So these are the things that did not necessarily work in these episodes. Damon, oh, okay, all right. what are you giving a swerve for, girl?
Talent show part boo. Boo.
Mm,
That second talent show, I'm sorry. Where was the talent?
okay.
Okay,
Do you want a treasure map to go find it, or?
no, I'm good. Um, I just was not as impressed with the second one as I was with the first one.
Mm,
Um, just, just there are a lot of missteps
mm-hmm.
in several of them. I felt that um, Kanye didn't know her words, which is weird because it's your song, and her wig was really getting in the way of a lot of what she was doing. Um, I felt Discord had a great idea, but she wasn't playing the instruments live, so it kind of defeated the purpose of her having the instruments. I liked the song; I thought it was cute, but like,
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, Athena, um, it was a cute outfit. Woo! Throw a plate. Woo! And then I did like James. I think James was funny,
Mm-hmm.
but it's another one where it just felt like a lip sync. I
Yeah.
know what she was doing. I know like the homages she was making, but it just eh.
Right. Yeah. It was
And
very
Mikey.
much imbalanced compared to the first part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And Mikey.
honestly, all right.
I like Mikey. I liked Mikey. I did like Mikey.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it out because I don't think it's anywhere else in our outline that we're gonna discuss it. I think Mikey
I'm
got
right.
robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was really upset when it turned out the way it did, and but that's because of the whole Raider Queen thing. I was like, it was obvious to me, at least from the edit, like what we
Mm-hmm.
saw, that I liked Mikey's presentation and stuff, and I thought it was fun and creative. And could it have gone further? Yeah, it could have been a
Yeah.
little different, but also you got like 60 freaking seconds to like do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So uh yeah, I mean, I will say this, Athena did more than what I expected from her because I didn't know what to expect from her. So there's
Did you
that.
know she's Greek?
Yes, I did know that she's Greek, but
I mean, she kind of.
it's her brand. She's a goddess. It's her brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, no, it was
Forcing it down your throat.
well, some people are into
Anyway.
that. Anyways, sorry, that should be on the other show, not this one. Um, so yeah, no, it I get that. It was not as exciting or, you
Yeah.
know, intriguing or titillating as a talent show.
Mm-hmm. Gary.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I put Discord's movement runway movement is in quotes. Um, girl, no, like I don't know how to explain this. I like Discord as a queen. Like, I'm not in love with her, but I like what she presents. I don't mind a Cerebral Queen, but this again, this is not the platform for this. Like, we've been down this
Mm-hmm.
road before, and like message queens, artistic message queens, like this is not exactly the platform that will get you the crown.
No.
It will, I mean, could it help you and advance some things, but I was like, there, like, all of a sudden I was having flashbacks. I'm like, please don't tell me that you made a dress out of, like, your grandmother's favorite quilt and have her name, like, all over it or whatever. Like there's a time and a place, and I just don't know. And so
Yeah.
this headpiece with the bloody money and it teetering kind of slightly, and what looks like a pinstripe suit that you slapped a whole bunch of jewelry on. Yeah, no, it wasn't working for me. It wasn't. Um, I will say this though, of the movement runway of all the queens, I know we're in swerves, but like Darlene's, she turned the corner, and I was like, oh my god, it's like Gossamer came to life. But like I was like, it's so spot on, like so ridiculous, so stupid, and so specifically exactly what it needed to be. I was like, see, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm not saying that Darlene should have won. I'm just like, there's a
It
part
was
of me
just
that,
a good.
right, if you're going to be safe, like if you're going to take the middle road, or if you're going to end up in the middle road, be memorable in the middle road, like with some good stuff that just isn't like knocking it out of the park, but also not making us go, what were you thinking? Or in this case, Discord's, what were you thinking, girl? Like
Mm.
that was not a thing for me. I didn't care for it. So yeah. All right, let's get into nerves. Okay. I'm reading
Yeah.
it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
go ahead, David, what you wrote.
I'm giving nerve to Sierra's shaky runway. Her
Okay.
shake runway was really bad. Um, we've seen that costume before. We've seen it on many queens before. I feel like it was borrowed. I feel like it wasn't yours. Um, you also didn't wear any body, and it just didn't shake as well as it could have. Um, we learn because she's talked about it apparently online
Mm-hmm.
that this was not her original runway, but
Yes.
she chose to wear this because she knew she was lip syncing. And I say I would have worn the thing I should have worn and then maybe changed or done something else if I could have. Because to me, I would feel better about putting my best foot forward as opposed to putting on the thing I know because I know I'm in the bottom.
Right.
Like,
Right. I don't
yeah,
disagree. Like
yeah.
when that came out later that she had another outfit exactly for that runway and she didn't wear it, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
But I do wonder if there is a set of rules, like for first
Mm,
run seasons versus all stars, that you're not allowed to change for lip
mm,
syncs, because remember that used to never be the case. Like everyone just wore
true.
the same thing, and then I can't remember what all stars it was. The queens were like,
Probably two or three.
yeah, I don't think this was exactly the way it went, but it was kind of like the returning queens were like, fuck this shit, like I'm changing into something that's like gonna allow me to perform.
Mm,
um and so I kind of interpreted it as like first time queens are like, oh no, like don't do anything to break the rules or cause problems, or you know what I mean, or upset the
yeah.
production. So but I also kind of wonder if it's a rule that you really can't change because
Mm,
she made that decision, and I was like, it
yeah.
looks like you were unprepared, like you just picked something because you didn't have it, like you didn't have an outfit, and then come find out you did have an outfit, and I was like, wait, what? So anyways, I don't know. It was
Ugh,
yeah.
it was bad. I'm just sorry. It was bad. It was terrible. It was like I said. It didn't look like Sierra at all. Like it felt like a weird, like something else.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me a lot of like, I don't like saying this, but it's how I feel. It reminded me of like first time in drags, like
Hmm.
going to the bar, like your family, quote unquote, dressed you, put you together, like got this whole thing, and it's like that's
Right.
fine, but this isn't the place that you necessarily want to do that.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Mm-mm-mm.
all right. My nerve is Nini Coco's movement artwork.
Damn.
I'm telling you, like, Nini's starting to strike me as another Q, like a very like talented, artistic, designing, like queen. Like in terms of like conceptualness and like, really trying to do things to stand out. Like we talked earlier about the see-through, like,
Yeah.
candy wrapper deal.
Yeah.
I was just really, kind of impressed. I was like, okay, I want to understand your mind better in a way. Um, I'm gonna say this as a sidebar though, like your personality is not necessarily doing you justice on like the television though, because you're turning very much into like, why me? Why not me? Like it's coming across as whiny, and I'm like, girl, like you are talented. Do not doubt your talent. Like you are your inner saboteur is showing, girl. Like this really what's happening here is you're like,
Yep.
I should have been in part two, and I would have, in the and yes, you should
Yeah.
have. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's very clear you would have like swept part two of the freaking Raider Queen, but you didn't.
It
You
would have
felt
probably
pressured.
been you and James.
Yeah. So
Oh well.
yeah, so she's kind of coming across as like the whiny, like butthurt artistic queen who, isn't really.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, girl, that's not. You're doing just fine on the runway, so chill the hell out. It'll be
Wow.
okay. You know. All right. That being said, you ready to move into our next segment?
Let's do this.
All right. So it's time for our snaps and eye rolls, aka the highs and the lows. So these are the hits and the misses from the shows that stood out to us. It's going to be very interesting, Damon. What are you giving snaps to?
I'm curious if we maybe are on the same page. Possibly,
Okay.
I'm thinking. So what I wrote down is judges getting it right? Question
Okay.
mark. And it's in relation to the talent show, the Raider Queen. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, obviously they weren't judging,
Mm-hmm.
but we do get their judgment. I mean, they're
Right.
talking about it.
Right. They
And
openly critique when the cast isn't in front of them, just
right.
amongst themselves, which I thought was incredibly helpful
Mm-hmm.
because you get an idea of what they're thinking.
Yeah. And I think from what I heard was like, oh, they really liked Mikey's and they really liked um James. And it was like, okay, cool. That makes sense. And then we get the Raider Queen moment and womp womp. Mikey's in the bottom somehow. How?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know how.
Well, we know how because we got the receipts. Hey, Queens, you probably should have seen that coming.
Yeah, like it makes me wonder if the cast is not paying attention. Like if they don't see Mikey as competition, and so like
Right.
that's what was happening in their voting, or if
Yeah.
they do and they just haven't voiced it, and that's why they kind of did things the way they did. I don't
Right.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
There's something very odd about of the queens that were in the six or in the five that were in the talent show.
Uh-huh.
They focus on Mikey without any. It didn't feel like there's a reason
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like looking at what we got. Like, no offense, my bottoms would have been Kenya and Kenya.
Okay.
Just gonna say it like it is. Probably Athena. Like, yeah, probably Athena.
No.
Right.
I, I,
Oh,
I, I can't disagree. I can't agree with that. It's definitely. I mean, if you need to have two, okay. But like at the very bottom, I'm like, no, it was Kenya.
it's
Like
Kenya. Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
it was. it was so disappointing. Like, there's a part of me that's like, we're rooting for you, girl, but you're not doing yourself any favors. Like,
No.
it seemed unrehearsed. Like, on top of it, you got called out for not knowing like wording for lip syncing, and then everyone's talking about how it's your own damn song that
Yeah.
like you don't know
And,
your own words to. Like,
and then like
she finished that
it
number, and I was like, "Ooh, girl, are you trying to bring the wrath of Latrice on? Because I think you did." Like,
yeah.
anyways,
That horrible like I was gonna say flag girl, but that's not what I mean. Color form, color guard like moment that I've I haven't done color guard in years. And I do a lot of basic stuff. I felt like I could have done better. I'm
I
just gonna
didn't know
put it
that
like
you had
that.
a background in that.
I did color guard. It was a very short period of time. It was in college. It wasn't actually high school.
That's
And
okay.
the idea was for us to essentially do things at like our collegiate football games, or not football, but collegiate like basketball or whatever
Right,
game.
right.
And the idea came, we started rehearsing, we started practicing, and then it died. Um,
Okay.
but I had the flag, I had like a good amount of like, I think we rehearsed, practiced for a good solid month and a half
Hmm.
on top of like a couple of weeks of like basic training.
Right, right,
So we did a pretty decent, good time doing stuff. And I got pretty good at it. I wasn't great, but I
right,
was, we were just getting started.
right.
So I thought I did, not to pat my own self on the back, but I was like, I did pretty good. And I feel
Uh-huh.
personally that I could have done better than what she did in that moment. Because that was just anybody can do this. Anybody can wave a flag left and right.
Yeah.
Did you throw it? I don't think she did. Anyway, whatever. It was awful. It
Right,
was awful.
right,
Sorry, it was
right.
awful. And if I were doing the bottom two, yes, that's why I said her and maybe Athena. But um, bottom,
Yeah,
Kenya.
yeah. No, yeah, I understand it. So yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
it is interesting to wonder about the judges getting it right, and like the
Mm-mm.
whole thing playing out the way it did. For me, I had said no production shenanigans for once. Question mark.
Mm.
Like, I felt like they actually let it happen, like let it play out the way it happened. The
Mm.
girls, this whole like alliance thing, girl. Athena, mama, shut your mouth. You look boo boo the fool after the fact, and was like, I didn't care for this whole like y'all like getting together and talking and Kiki in the corner and making it look like there was an alliance and blah blah blah, and that because she gets called out and it's like, oh, but what about you? Well, I had an alliance. I'm sorry, what? Like, what are you doing? Shut your mouth. Like, everybody knew you did not have to say it out loud, because then you just digging that hoe. Hoe getting deeper and deeper, because then you said, well, I voted and I ranked the way they did for talent. It just happened to align with how I wanted it to go anyways. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Girl,
like
you need to shut the fuck up. All the way up.
all I
Because
keep
that
thinking
was,
is, if you're the grand dame of like, what is it, Miami? I was like, you ain't making me want to visit. You're making me not want to visit. Like this
right?
is not doing you or anything,
Any
any of your
favors.
favors. Like, come on, just shh, shh,
Girl,
shh, just shh.
learn to edit. Learn to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Just,
but she's Greek, anyways. So,
I really could give two shits.
so girl. But yeah, like I feel like production actually just let it play as it played. Now, I'm gonna say this. Was anybody surprised that the receipts book came up in the very next episode?
no.
Right. Like I knew the moment they said they were doing a Rate of Queen talent show, I was like, oh, I'm like, people gonna find out how the voting went, and then there's gonna be some butt hurt. And I don't know why there'll be butt hurt. Like it's just a competition. But so sure enough, like the receipt book is there first thing in the morning when they come in, quote unquote, for the new day. And I was like, yep, here we go. And I mean, it was a little eye opening for some of the queens. Like Nene was
Yeah.
a little pressed,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't blame her because I don't think she knew what we knew as the audience,
Yeah.
how some of the other queens feel. And Mikey rightly, was put out. She didn't like
Mm-hmm.
being, voted and put in the bottom and blah, blah, blah. But I also find it very curious that she had a t-shirt that said revenge on it that she wore the very next day into the workroom. And I was like, oh, okay, message queen. Like, we're making it very, very obvious. Like, if it said RIP or something, like, it would have been a little more subtle. But the fact that it just flat out said revenge, I was like, oh.
Yes.
I was like, I see where this potential theme of the edit is going to go.
Right.
Yeah. So that being said, Mikey wins the Drag Queens for Change.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone appears to be on board with that. And I don't mean that in the show, I mean outside of the show. You'll see the video, but Bussy didn't necessarily think that Mikey should have won. And I find that interesting because I thought it was perfectly fine that Mikey won. I thought it was deserved, and yet at the same time, I think there is a possibility that production did it intentionally to make up for the fact that she didn't win from the talent show, and they think she's
Maybe.
deserving of recognition.
Mm.
But I don't feel heavily in that camp, but there is a possibility of that since it was no longer under the cast control, quote unquote, to have a say or manipulate or whatever you want to say. That being said, when I alluded to earlier about like things that were said outside, like in public venues, Jane Don't at a venue like this weekend, I guess at a viewing party or whatever, said that from the political ad stuff, what they cut out was that Rue had said out loud to the entire cast, "Y'all should be afraid of Jane Don't," which makes it sound like Rue has picked her as like the lead favorite or whatever kind of a thing.
Mm.
Which, to be honest, is sort of obvious to me. Like,
I mean,
that
it'd
she's.
be opposite anyone with eyeballs.
I mean, she's really well-rounded and talented, and I think they are editing her a little bit in a way to not be the obvious front runner, to make it a little more fair.
Right. Right.
Also, that being said, it was at the Roscoe's party that Vita talked about what happened, and the last 3 runways were all things that she had to make at the last minute because her designer didn't come through.
Mm.
So her movement runway, her see-through runway, and I don't remember what the one was before that. All of those she ended up making apparently in the hotel room. Which makes sense because the moment she came out for the see-through runway, I was like, girl. Oh no, she made the satin
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the greenish emerald like deal, which actually I really liked. Come to find out, when, spoiler alert for those that don't already know, Vita, did not make it and she got cut. In the What You Packin' with Michelle, she talks about the fact that she is a solo queen, and she makes pretty much everything herself from Montgomery, Alabama, and has to travel to be able to go to other places to like get materials and to do things, and so she's very self-sufficient and kind of like, so that was her biggest challenge in getting ready for the show once she got the call, was that she had to make all the stuff. So come to find out, you put these pieces together, it sounds like she commissioned someone, a designer, to make at least 3 of her outfits, and they fell through and did not make the things and either
Wow.
in time or whatever, and so she had to make stuff when she was there in California. So that really says to me that she is really good at what she does, but it also explains some things that, like, when she has the time, she can really kind of deliver on something. But at the same token, like, we've moved beyond a decade plus now of where queens can, like, do stuff for themselves at the last second.
Right.
And,
Present something really remarkable.
Yeah.
With last second, like you said, last second. That's the big part. I think that's the important factor here.
Right.
Is we know as watching the show and things that behind the scenes, like we know when they're only given so much time to once to get the call to get things together.
Right.
First of all, then they don't know what runway is coming. Like they like in like
Right.
chronological order. You know what I
Right.
mean? We might get a notice a day or two before, maybe.
Right.
So if you don't have that runway ready because your designer dropped out
Right.
or fucked you over, I'm gonna say it, fucked you over. Name the name, bitch. That's what we need to know. Name the name. I'm tired of these people taking advantage of these people.
Mm.
Like, call these queens out. Call these bitches out. That's what I say personally.
I've had it officially.
Right? Call these queens out. But yeah, like you know, if you don't get the things that you need, and it's that week that runway's happening, you're like, well, fuck.
Right.
And it's not even a week. We know that they schedule, like, they do episodes over a couple of days. It's a week in the workroom.
Right, but it's
on the TV show.
Right, because it's a weekly episode, but each episode it takes 3 to 4 days to create. So
right. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think in terms of, like, I'm giving snaps for what appears to be that production did not, get heavy-handed in things. Then again, this very last episode, they had to pull Bruno's nuts out of his sack. And that kind of made me wonder how authentic that was.
Right.
Because it seemed like there was some intention behind the matchups. But anyways. That being said, let's talk about eye rolls.
Hey, y'all. I put down the family problem. Hey, Athena, Mia, Juicy. Y'all might want to stop. Just stop. Because here's the thing. Not all 3 of you are getting to the end. I'm just going to point it out right here, right now. I'm going to say it right now. Not all 3 of you get to the end. Possibly only one of you. Maybe. But, like, this whole, like, and again, I talked about this, in episode 1 about how I wasn't really a big fan of how Athena treated her drag granddaughter, essentially. And now I'm kind of having this, like, we all bad bitches because you all had this, you won the whole talent show. And I'm like, that's great. But now here we are in this most recent episode, and the 2 of you just happened to get paired together, and it was crickets, y'all. Y'all don't have it all together, which is weird because usually that's what you, like, a family, a drag family especially, sometimes that's sort of the benefit is you have queens in your family that can help with things that maybe you're not the greatest at. Maybe I'll need to figure that out. It just bothered me so much. Bless you. It bothered me so much that Mia was so intent on fighting for this curve, like the padding, like proposition and yada yada yada, and then y'all sat down and y'all couldn't come up with shit. And
Mm-hmm.
it rubbed me the wrong way, and it's now getting on my nerves. Um, this weekend, this episode showed me for sure that this is a problem for you all. Um, and I think you're going to find out sooner rather than later that y'all might need to separate, fight your own battle, do your own thing. Because it's cute now, but at some point, it's going to potentially come down. Like you all were already talking about lip syncing together, Mia and Juicy, and you're like, oh yeah, well we might be able to get a number two over Shantae. I'm like, no, I don't think you would have. It wasn't a double Shantae, but a double win.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. Like, one of the three has the potential to make it to the end. They haven't been graced with the infamous words from Mama Room just yet, although we're waiting for it. But that being said, yeah, I do agree. Like, they're not all going to make it to the end. It's not going to be like they're all together in the top three.
Right.
I would find that to be strange, but we'll see what happens with that. For me, what I said was no challenge preparation ? And I
Ooh.
said that because I felt bad for Vita when they went to do the political ad challenge. And Michelle said, we'll do some B-roll. And then Vita was like, what's B-roll? And here's why. Because they've never shown another queen not know how the magic gets made, quote unquote. At least not to my recall. And the moment they did that, I was like, oh, you didn't have to do that, but you chose to. And then it begged the question in my mind, like, do you not go over these things with the queens? Like, do you not explain what camera production is, like, and these different terms that people may not be familiar with, like key light and blah, blah, blah. Like, it really kind of stood out to me that I don't think they do it, because Vita doesn't strike me as a person who doesn't pay attention.
No.
So I was like, that just really stood out awkwardly to me. Like, production's not explaining how the sausage gets made. Like, you don't have to tell all the stuff, but you should at least explain to a queen who's not familiar with television production what you mean when you say certain things and how that stuff's gonna work.
Right.
Like, there was a little bit of this, but Vita's was the most like problematic to me. Like, them including that in the edit. Like, the conversation earlier with Athena about the voiceover and Nini Coco, like, about like the whatever, like to me, like, especially Nini, I was like, girl, like, you are not a producer. Like, what the hell? It was just one of these things that really begged the question to me. I was like, did you guys not get a binder? Not get like something? Did a PA not explain things to you about this is this? Like, I don't know. It just seemed really awkward to me.
Yeah.
And it painted her in a light that, like, she's not very with it. And I'm like, that's not fair at all.
Yeah.
Because Vita doesn't strike me as a dum-dum in any way, shape, or form. So I was like, that's kind of uncalled for, at least to me, the way I interpreted it.
Yeah. It feels weird that I get that why they would ask that question, because they don't know. And like, I agree with you. I wonder, has this happened before but we've not heard about it or seen it because it wasn't part of the narrative,
Mm, yeah.
right? Like
Right.
part of this narrative, again, you see it every, production's way of like giving us essentially a sometimes fake out, sometimes um reality, which kind of in this case it was, is like showing a queen struggling, showing them like not getting the mark,
Right.
indicating that they're not rising to the occasion, as it were.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's them faking us out and like, oh, they're going to be in trouble, and then they kick ass in the challenge. But oftentimes it's like this, where it is essentially the domino of the like potential elimination.
Right. Yeah, it was the one thing that really stood out to me that I thought was a bit of a stinker. I was like,
Yeah.
mm, it would be different if like you didn't pay attention or you weren't like, very observant or whatever. But in this case, I was like, it feels like y'all left something out. Like you didn't explain when we make a commercial, like we're gonna talk about VO, that's voiceover. We're only, a
Mm-hmm.
voice is gonna do this, that, or the other. We're gonna do B-roll, we're gonna do like, close-ups, we're gonna do wide shots. You know what I mean? Like any of that kind of stuff that it kind of made me wonder if we've gotten so far out because it's 18 seasons of the flagship that like there's some presumption that people just know what stuff is.
Mm.
I'm like,
I
and
wonder about that.
that's not fair because like even bedroom queens don't necessarily know all these terms and things.
Right.
So yeah, there's that. So that being said, any other like closing thoughts you have now that we're down to 9?
Oh.
There's so the snatch game challenge is next week,
Mm-hmm.
but they put a twist on it.
Yep.
So now it's snatch game on Love Island.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're mashing up the dating bachelor-esque concept with snatch game. So now they're not at a panel like lobbing back and forth jokes and answers to questions for contestants. They're going to be portraying their character in these like interview segments, with a potential mate, which I was like, and one of the choices that someone made as their celebrity is a bit bold.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, okay, that's a thing. We'll see how that works out. I'm very
Uh,
intrigued. I'm very intrigued for next week's episode.
yeah.
But I mean, right now, as it stands, Darlene and Discord don't have any wins.
Mm.
So if you were to look at that kind of stuff, you might think that they're not going to make it. That they're
Right.
kind of the next to not do well. But then again, as we've been talking about, Kenya's not really
Yeah.
rising to things. So,
No.
and
There's a Go ahead.
no, you're fine.
There's a part of me that is we're in the mid section here where it starts to get a little bleh,
Hmm.
but we are about to hit snatch game, so I'm kind of in this moment of like, let's see what these queens do. But then they've switched it up on us. Because usually the snatch game is like one of those things where you can see it makes or breaks a queen sometimes. And that time it's gonna be a little different. Could it still be the same thing? Possibly, but I don't know yet if that's how it's gonna work.
Well,
Um,
I think the principle is still the same. Either you know your character that you're portraying or you don't. So either you can ad lib it or you can't. So if you came into this with your catchphrases and no real understanding of the character development, you're gonna not do well. You wouldn't have
mm,
done well if you were sitting on the panel, or if you're sitting, next to another queen competing for the love interest of a fake character. You know what I mean? Like,
right, right.
so yeah, I don't know. We shall see where
We
things land
shall.
at. But I will say this. I was surprised by by Juicy's like emotional upset after the
Mm,
lip sync.
yeah.
And I'm not quite sure I understood why.
Hmm.
I appreciated that Athena was there and that
Yeah.
it seems like pretty much the cast wanted to rally around Juicy, but Juicy was like, no, I just need some time and space for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And Athena did the motherly thing and was like, she gave her a little bit of time, according to the edit, not very much, but and then came over and just, stayed with her. And I'm really kind of interested if this is going to shake up Juicy, like if this is going to be an an
Mm,
emotional thing that's going to affect her for a bit of time. But I don't quite
maybe.
know why. Like if she had sent Mia home or she sent Athena home, then I would probably chalk it up to like, oh, this is your family, like and it's shitty to do that to your family. But in this case, I don't know,
Right.
unless she feels like as a younger queen, the fact that she sent Vita home was like some type of like I don't want to say judgment, but like thing about like her versus someone who is very like highly skilled and good at what they do. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. So we'll see where that lands us in this case.
We shall see.
But with that being said, there's plenty of ways for you to let us know what you thought on these particular episodes or our opinions on them. You can reach out to us at our blog, cubsoutloud.com. Leave a comment on there. You can also send us an email at cubsoutloud@gmail.com. You could give us a ring. And I don't mean a diamond one. You can call COL at 361 COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. All right, calm down, Beyonce. If you want to get in touch with us, you can look up Comes Out Loud pretty much on the social media outlets as one word. You can also join us on Telegram at tinyurl.com/telegram-COLDR, where I've been like finding little interesting things and putting like links and stuff in there about stuff that's out there in the world about this cast. You can
Mm.
also see when we're going to be doing the main show live to YouTube airings, which is tinyurl.com/calendar-COL. And if you want to support us, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can actually, I'm going to switch it up. You can go to paypal.me/cubsoutloud and you can leave us a tip. It's a one-time donation to help keep the lights on around here. We will gladly take it. Or if you want to be a supporter of us, you can go to patreon.com/cubsoutloud. You can join for $1 a month or more in that area, which we appreciate. Or you can just buy some merch. You can rep some stuff out there in the world. You can go to zazzle.com/cubsoutloud and pick up some items. For instance, we have cups, we have mugs, different vessels of choices with logos and things on them. We've also got apparel. So like Damon and I are repping 2 different styles of shirts that we have currently that are available with the Cubs Out Loud Drag Race logo on them, or the Drag Queen Pride colors, where it says "Consent is my foreplay." We got lots of stuff that you can pick from. Oh my God, girl, has the gummy hit? What the hell? Anyways, if you want to find our podcast, you could go to pretty much anywhere that audio podcasts are available and type out Comes Out Loud for Drag Race. It is its own separate audio feed on there. I'm sorry. If y'all can't see the video of what David was doing, you missed a Vanna White moment. Speaking of Damon, if people want to find you online, how would they do so?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me. Fuck. You can find me as Theater Cub 79. That's THEATRECUB 79 on most related sites. You can find me as Pup_Umbra. Nope, Pup Umbra 79 on Blue Sky. That Blue Sky is not safe for work. For safe for work stuff, you want DMA Gamer 79 on Blue Sky and TikTok.
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as Camber73. With that, we will say goodbye for now, and we'll see you in a couple weeks when there's another couple episodes for us to discuss. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.